Oh, late school.
I don't know.
Like this.
All right. So questions.
Q&As right away.
What year did you start?
Oh, shit. 1997. Glad to go there.
Is she for real?
Who said that? What?
Patrick.
No.
What year? I learned it in '99. Same at a dance event. It was just a taster class, but no one was doing it, so it just didn't stick. And then,
Who was the class?
Nina and Naomi gave a class. Yeah,
Nick,
yeah. At the time, yeah, they were just teenagers. Yeah. They taught a class on it. I don't know where they learned it. It was
L.A.
super crude, probably. But nobody wanted to do it, so it didn't stick. You know. And then 2009, after I got out of grad school, I was like, fuck it. I just want it to happen. And I had a few friends who felt the same way, so we just did it anyway. Yeah.
So an important name, Peter Loggins. I always liked his gopher because he didn't want to do the dirty work. And the dirty work is back then, it was before the YouTube generation. So we had to dig up VHS tapes from the libraries, from the archives. And one of the second world's biggest video library is UCLA, second from Smithsonian. So I had friends that worked there. So we made friends and we used to go treasure hunting, we would call it, and dig up videos. And Harvest Moon, you can see clearly divisions of dance back in the 30s all the way into the 60s and 70s. But at the Glendale Library, we saw a dance called the Collegiate Shag 1937 model. And we're like, what is that? And we were trying to figure out the moves, but we didn't really get an idea of what it was. So then we visited different schools. And then at the Glendale Library, I discovered a video called the Arthur Murray Shag. And it shows Arthur Murray doing a demonstration clearly, slow, quick, again. And then he brings in these other dancers that they have casted, Tom Fordham, as you guys all know. And then they do a demonstration of Shag, street style, I would call it, or collegiate style.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Did you rehearse that? Did you have that, like, you had like a script and it was like, boom. Here's this.
That was like the old clip that I ever saw back those days.
The how to do the Jags, Arthur Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hadn't even seen that.
There was nothing else out back there. 99. Yeah, I started with like ballroom first, and then Lindy and other stuff in 98, and then 99 I found Lance Benishek. I'm from the Midwest originally in Ohio, and Lance Benishek, he was living, I think, Minnesota, or
yeah, he was in Minnesota.
So him and was it Betty Wood?
Betty Wood, yeah.
All right.
Yep.
They would do workshops all around the Midwest, and I did a few of their workshops. So that was my first experience with Shag at all. And then the VHS tapes from Camp Hollywood would come out, and that's when I really got to see like younger people doing Shag. Because Lance Benishek and Betty, I mean, she was very old, 80s or something,
right? And he
must have been in the 60s at that point.
Yeah, and his style is totally
different than I wasn't really into it, honestly. I was a teenage kid, and I wasn't really into it. But then I saw Sean Carter from 98 Camp Hollywood. Sean Carter dancing with Cassandra Bug, and that was the first time I saw Shag, and I was like, that's awesome. And that's when I really started doing it.
I thought you learned from Marcus and Marble.
Well, I did. I learned, but my first time seeing it and liking it was from Sean and Cassandra. But then I learned from like Marcus and Barble, Eric and Sylvia, Dave and Kim probably.
When did you move to L.A.?
Not till 2004.
Can you guys hear us? Okay.
So yeah, I didn't move to LA till 2004, but I was going there at least twice a year from like 2000 until I moved there.
Cool.
Yeah, I learned a lot because we brought you out too to Ohio. So I was living in Ohio, and like most of the best dancers in the world.
There's a ghost. Mr. Ghost went down to that one.
What's funny, me?
Oh, thank God. So yeah, back in the late 90s and early 2000s, most, in my opinion at least, the best dancers in the world lived in LA. And especially when it came to collegiate shag, pretty much only in LA
Yeah, that was LA was the only place.
that was doing shag.
Yeah.
So we brought like Minn and Karina, Peter and Lisa, Eric and Sylvia, like all the great dancers from LA. We brought them to Ohio.
To Dayton?
Yeah, in between Dayton and Cincinnati, it's called Middletown.
Okay.
I think it's been a long time. It's been like
Yeah,
that was back in like 2000.
right.
So
Which city? Yeah.
Hmm?
Which city? Yeah.
Soviet site, or wait, no, Skyline. I get them confused.
Yes.
But we brought
Sylvia
both
and Eric.
Sylvias.
Yeah. Eric and
I
Sylvia.
can't remember who Sylvia taught with. The other Sylvia.
Sylvia Sykes.
Skylar taught with Eric.
She taught with John.
Sylvia Sykes taught with Jonathan, and she was kind of.
We never brought Jonathan though to Ohio.
It's just kind of more on the West Coast because she was involved with like a lot of the West Coast events, like
Back then,
U.S. Open and other stuff. Yeah, back then.
not anymore.
I told Balboa come here.
The Shag? There was a work
The shag.
like I said earlier. There was a workshop in I should repeat it because I'm not speaking loud enough. Yeah. In Austin, Texas, there was a workshop. I was living in Dallas at the time, and we went down to Austin to learn Lindy Hop stuff. And there was a Shag class and a Balboa class, just a taster class for each. And I was like, I don't want to do that. But I was really into Lindy Hop, and my friends were like, come on, let's do this. And so we did it, and I was like, oh shit, this works better for the fast. Not better, but like it's easier to do these dances to the fast music, which I liked, So I kind of like tucked that away. And then years later, when I got out of grad school, I was like, I don't care if no one's doing it. I just want to make this happen. So.
And he was your main influences, though. You didn't just learn.
No, it's true. Yeah. There wasn't anybody teaching it. So, I mean, you guys brought people out. We didn't have the money or resources to do that. So there's just a small pot of us. So we would watch vintage clips. Logins had a dancehistory.org website with like a forum where people were just talking. It was all this information and stuff going on. I met Shannon Butler through that, and Peter kept telling me, you got to interview people. You got to because he had this collection of clips, and I wanted to see it, of like collegiate shag, because that was the only thing we knew to learn from was that. So he never showed it to me, but I ended up collecting clips over time, and he'd give me some sometimes, and then I traveled around the country and interviewed the old timers, because I was at the time, Marcus and Barbel's Balboa videos were really popular, and they did those interviews with old timers at the end of them. And I thought there's nothing really for shag except Roy Dameron talking a little bit about it. So, and Chester Whitmore talking about it, but that's it. Just two, So, I decided to interview, at his suggestion, to start interviewing people. Yeah. And so got some people before they passed on, and so that's good. So we'd have a little bit of history, something to hold on to. So, yeah. And that was it. We just would argue about how to lead things, me and my friends. And there's an event called Shag Jam in San Francisco. Yeah.
Johnny Blue Jeans.
Yeah, right.
Do you guys know about Johnny Blue Jeans?
Oh, San Francisco.
I don't think
San Francisco Jitterbug.
now.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was one of the first.
And his partner? He's his partner.
I don't remember.
Blonde.
I don't remember that. But anyways,
I don't remember.
San Francisco shag.
Yeah, San Francisco.
They had a good group of shag there for a while.
They did. They were the only ones at that time, really. Well, L.A., of course. But other than L.A., they were the only ones doing it.
DC kind of copied LA, so they had like Naomi and Nina.
Right. I don't know that they were doing it.
They didn't do
this.
That
Was
much.
Right. This was like 2009, 2010. Yeah.
But California, we had a really good influence because we had a lot of the legends around. And same thing as with San Francisco, they had Ray Hirsch and his crew, and they were up there. And Ray Hirsch was a big part of, they used to ditch school and do these little music videos like Dagwood and Blondie. You'll see a lot of collegiate shag in there. And that's what influenced the San Francisco Jitterbugs with Jenna and Johnny Blue Jeans. They even pulled some of the old moves.
Yeah.
Like eights and gates. There's all these little cool steps.
What all it did is you guys have to figure out how to lead it photo. Chris was called out, then right.
Yeah.
So
At certain camps, like if you were a part of a certain college, there's certain college dances. Like today, there's step, and then there's all these different cool, depending on which university or which college. And then these were like NYU students that got pushed by their parents to take ballroom classes, and the music was swinging, so they didn't want to be squares and do these like nice. So they wanted to shag it up. So the collegiate shag became really popular. And depending on which university, like Chicago, they had their own flavor where there was a lot of big jumps in the shag that was really unique, and also air steps where there were moves that were done like in the air, and then back in the shag basically, which is cool.
How do you think it became typical social dance in the way?
A social dance? Well, the Savoy Ballroom was the most integrated ballroom like ever. And then Saturday night was a collegiate night. So all, if you try to pick up or you try to meet people, you dress deck to the nines, and then you go to the ballroom. One of the stories that I really enjoyed, Norma Miller was telling me, they did a revamp on the floor where they cleaned it, and the floor was so slippery. And Whitey's, of course, they dominated the Savoy, with their moves and big tricks and everything. But when they saw these collegiate shag dancers, like just cruising the floor while it was slippery, Norma said they were so good, like she wanted to hit them. So it's And then nowadays too, there's even questions like, do black dancers do the shag? There's been history where, of course, the Savoy Ballroom. So if you see something you like, once is magical, twice is educational. By the third time, you'll have it in your pocket, a vocabulary.
Minn speaks in riddles sometimes.
yeah,
It's like going to visit the man on the mountain or something. Like, they're like, I don't know what that means, but I'm gonna find out.
Confucius said. Any questions?
is there any clips that we can see like in YouTube or anywhere? Yeah, Harvest Moon.
Totally. Yeah.
Of course.
Now you can,
Yeah, now it's available. Back then, before it was available, there was this kid that we got really mad at. He was like a rocket scientist from Florida, and he put everything on as natch.com, and you could snag little clips and download it. It took forever, but but nowadays the YouTube generation, you can just pop on and then get stuff. Resources are slowly being pulled because of like streaming rights, like music rights. A lot of the studios that would own clip before, Paramount didn't own like what they owned back in the 40s. It changed hands to like different studios, Universal, Sony, MGM.
For a little while there, you could get almost any on YouTube. If you knew that it existed, you could look up just about any shag clip. But like you just said, the copyright stuff, a lot of it's been taken down. I won't say most of it, but some of the key film clips have been removed from YouTube for copyright reasons. But yeah, in the Rebirth film, about Shag, the film about Shag, there's a lot of them. In fact, I'd say most of them are in there, like between the talking and stuff like that. But yeah, some are harder to find. I'm gonna try to make a video that like shows different moves and presents the like film clips of each of the moves, like the ones that we have, coming up in spring. I told myself I would do it by the spring, so yeah, hopefully that'll help. It'll put them in one place,
Yeah.
I this like a project like the rebirth of Shag Part
No.
Oh, what bad ideas.
collaborate.
Yeah. That film took 3 years to make, and I hated it by the time I was finished with it. So, yeah, hopefully we don't, wow, I mean, it's a lot of work. Yeah. No, this would just be, in fact, this would be a lot of the clips from that film, but just put in order so you can see, like, well, here's reverse kicks or here's whatever, Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, there are a lot of different ways to learn. Like, I was like more of a street dancer, so I came from like a hip hop background where we were jumping in ciphers, just trying to top one another, and then copying each other's moves. Not necessarily biting, but taking it and topping it. You know what I mean? And then with swing dancing, like we would try to just copy and I was more of a visual. So when videos came in, I was really like keen into like trying to copy, not knowing later on running into like Hal or like some of the old timers. Hey, that's my move, and then you're like, this is ridiculous. This is a move from like a long time ago. But then you got like historians like Lance Bennercheck that are really good at like, because there's a lot of stuff that you can't find on video at certain regions, because unless you're in Hollywood, that's where like all the videos, you know, like people have money. So like if you're out like in Chicago, like Florida, I mean, those people like they wrote down like in syllabus and they had like notebooks of the dance. So Lance Benechek was able to break stuff down by text and reading about it. So that's pretty interesting too. And then he had like good references of pictures, and then you can see ideas of like, oh, the collegiate shag and then tandem.
Yeah. There's a Facebook page called Collegiate Shag History, if you're interested. Just for years, people posting stuff. So just about every article, like the paper articles and stuff, pictures that have been posted on there. And the clips, all the film clips, pretty much. The ones that aren't taken down, you know, there's a lot of them. It's like it's just a broken link. It's a, yeah.
You live by.
What's up, man?
What's your, I guess, I mean, for call you too, but like, if you're most inspiring into the whole set, or I shall do
For Shag? At first it was Sean Carter and Cassandra Bug, and then Josh Colazzo and Teresa. And Josh, he only did one Shag contest.
What?
Yeah, but it's still one of my favorite clips of Shag I've ever seen. So yeah, I always kind of modeled off of those two when I started doing Shag, because Sean had the really fast, smooth footwork where his feet were moving like crazy, but that was it. He had a long ass ponytail back then. His hair was down to his butt. And
Like 99.
He didn't do it. Yeah, no, 98.
98. Yeah.
Yeah, he cut his hair after that. He didn't do like a lot of moves or anything, but his feet were just crazy. And then Josh Colazzo, he had the style and the attitude. I always say it looked like he was smelling shit, but he likes it. Like he's like smelling so shit. He's like, yeah, like. And so I kind of like the attitude that Josh brought to Shag, even though he only did that one contest. And he kind of had that rock and roll kind of feel to the way Josh danced. Mm-hmm. And he had a lot of interesting ideas that I had never really seen before in Shag. So those two guys. But then Minn and Farina, I don't know if you've seen them. They were like the cleanest fucking Shag couple probably ever.
Traffic jam.
Like you guys just matched each other perfectly with your frame and the footwork. Sailor Mike, he's been holding Shag down in LA for over 20 years now, man. Like he's got his own unique, like kind of graceful style. So I take influences from so many people, but personally, I think Sean Carter and Josh Colazzo are my two that I identify with, because I don't think I can look like Minn or like Sailor Mike. We have different like kind of bodies and personalities. I think you need to, if you want to like imitate somebody, you have to kind of be built like them a little bit, you know? And yeah, I don't think I would look good like Minn. What? What? No. I look so stupid doing it though. He looks so cool.
Wait, what? What looks like?
Yeah, Steve kind of came out of nowhere. There was this other kid from Ohio that landed in LA, Dave Stewart, and he's like, watch out for this kid, Steve. He's going to come. And then next thing you know, you have Steve in the mix.
Damn. Steve is just like, who is this motherfucker? Like, where did he come from?
It's funny
All
because
these nerds are like, I don't like this guy.
he would look up to Dave Stewart, and Josh Colazzo and all these guys. You know what I mean? And we're sitting back there, we're like, damn, like you can give them a run for their money. So it's kind of funny.
Dave was my first teacher.
It was cool. With Rhonda?
Yeah, Dave and Rhonda.
Experience. LA is really rich in subculture, and especially the swing scene, like in the 98, 97, that time. It was just all about style. I mean, everybody came from everywhere. I mean, you had like strippers that would go to the Derby and dance, and you had like big artists like Gwen Stefani would dance. Leonardo DiCaprio actors. You had a bunch of different people just coming into the mix. Sean Carter, he was like a metalhead, Slayer, like heavy metal, but when you come to the Derby, you just switch it up and slowly transform into like this a vintage guy. It's hilarious. And of course, too, there were a lot of people like from the goth scene. There's a goth club called The World near the Derby, and it'd be funny because I was dating a girl at the time, and we would go there, and then to see people from that extreme, dressing all black, shadow dancing, to like going to the Derby, dressed to the nines, and then like all full out vintage too. Dita Monteith, for example.
See her Joe sometime. It used to be.
Question? Bless you.
Bless you.
The talk was history out.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
Past, present, and future.
past, president.
Yeah.
All right.
Did we talk about the present? No,
Yeah.
past. Though.
We haven't talked about Patrick yet. Patrick, where did you start?
Patrick O'Brien.
Wow, Patrick O'Brien.
Patrick O'Brien.
Oh, Patrick, when did you start dancing Shag?
So we have to know when you started.
Wow.
when I think 2012, but my first class was with Tony Fraser.
No way.
Tony Frazier.
Anyway, I had class holiday. It was a really good class, but a weird class. He was just like, here's a move, do it. Really hard, and it was like, beat was that, well, and making learn really the hard one of the daily fiddle. Yeah. With a sticky band and with a stick. It's in 2012 and guitars, my new team master was like, Dad, this class, so bad, hey, he's got to teach and it's cool.
Yeah, 2013, Patrick and Peter, they were two of the only people that even knew Shag in Europe when I came the first time. No one else knew Shag pretty much. No, Rock That Swing.
We were in
Yeah, but yeah, they lived in London, but at Rock That Swing, so yeah. Oh yeah, of course. I didn't say the only two people, I said two of the only people. There was probably at that point maybe 10 people total in Europe that knew Shag at all. Seemed like. It blew up really fast
Until 2013.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it blew up after Rock That Swing. When this guy, as Shanzi did that routine, it was like, boom.
the most viewed Swingmans video ever.
Yeah, you're right. Like, yep, millions of views. Yeah.
It was cool too because for us, like that have danced before, it was kind of like a love letter from LA. Like they put bits and pieces and elements of like all the influences, the different styles. So you'd see like little hints of like Josh Galazzo, Sean Carter, Sailor Mike, SMS stuff. Yeah,
That was everything I knew at the time.
so we sat back and we were just kind of proud. We're like, yeah.
It was literally every move I knew.
20 years to say to us. So since then, what happened? I mean, 2013, that
And Fez,
It's the 10-year anniversary.
I think the big thing that happened after Rock That Swing was Barcelona had the first ever like Shag only festival in 2014, and because before that, Munich did have the Ball and Shag festival, and I think there was maybe one or two others that had Ball and Shag festivals,
Right.
but much smaller and mostly Ball.
You're talking about in Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then Barcelona, 2014, first ever like all collegiate Shag festival. Yeah, it was like a workshop, and we called it a festival, and it was all at Spank the Baby, and
wow.
it was fucking awesome. And then like the Warsaw people came, and they started like the second ever Shag festival. Warsaw Shag Festival started. And then fucking everything started, like Glasgow Shag Festival and Newcastle Shag Festival, and like everyone's got a Shag Festival going on.
What about shagging in the rain though?
I don't know about
Copenhagen.
Yeah, I haven't been there.
Tice. Tice is fidgeting back. Hi, Tice. Great festival.
But yeah, I told Paul and Sarah because it was like the second year of Barcelona Shag Festival, like shit got bigger, right? And then like the third year is like, and shit, it got really big. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, this is only going to last like a couple more years. You got to make your money now because Shag is going to die. Shag is going to die hard. It's only going to last maybe 5 years tops, and people are going to get tired of it and they're get too old for it. You better make your money now, all right? I'm surprised this is the 9 years later. Like next year will be 10 years, and people are still shagging in Europe. I'm impressed because in the U.S., people don't shag.
I don't know.
Not the amount of people.
Not the number of people.
Yeah.
That's true.
Fashion never really dies though. It just runs in cycles. I mean, Sarah, you dash Shag, right? Back in LA.
I knew her from back in Ohio too. But didn't I know you back then too? I felt like I met you back then. Okay. I never met you in Ohio? I feel like I did. All right.
That's true. Right on. And when I'm in the pandemic, everything died.
Oh, yeah. So
After the pandemic.
Everything died.
in LA for sure.
Yeah, LA Shag.
Yeah.
Inland Empire Shuffle. There's a bunch of them. I had an event I just started called Ball of Fire. But started a new one. There's a new one in the Seattle area. So we're slowly building stuff back up. There's rumors of something that may be happening in LA again. There's rumors of what was that? Somebody made a noise.
Auto, just rebuilding the shag scene, starting it back up basically again, because all the good shag dancers that my students from like 10 years ago or so, none of them really shag anymore. They moved or they stopped shagging. So now just starting. We're only teaching beginner level shag in LA right now.
Got to start over.
Yeah.
It's building back up. I say it's building up faster here.
Oh, there's you guys
more
have
time.
way more people dancing shag.
Yeah. They're like, no, we don't. No, we don't.
Here
No.
in Barcelona, you will see only Barcelona people dancing Shag during Shag Festival.
That's it.
It's called Barcelona Shag Festival. And the rest of the year, we are struggling to put together more than maybe 5 or 7 people for the teams that we are organizing. And it's very difficult to do it, frustrating, because before it was like, I don't know, 10 people, 30 people,
No.
40 people. Nowadays, it's very difficult. And something else happened to, like, Balboa happens, and people didn't know Balboa is over. And it's not fighting for the market, but it's difficult. You prefer to go to a party where there's like 70 people, 80 people, than to a party that is like 5 people or 7.
Yes.
We will persevere.
It's always been a small part of the state.
All people, all campers should be.
Yeah, we're thinking
So-
totally different because at the moment where teachers stopped teaching and everything was forbidden, people in secret started to train. Like, I cannot on my cave of COVID. Like suddenly they were multiplying like pregnant. Well,
Cool.
Yeah, that was crazy. So I have a little story with her. Like I was coming back from Copenhagen and we did like a secret meetup with our mask and everything. And we did some shag and it started raining on us. Remember that? It was cool.
And Shag on the Rain was born?
It was already there. It already
It's not in the wrong.
Okay.
So Camp Hollywood last year, to speak about the U.S. end of it,
Not this year.
we were not this year, but the year before. I was really we were all really concerned, because the major events, we lost LA Shag, this kind of stuff. Pandemic just seemed to kill everything. And then I went to Camp Hollywood last year, and the demand to be in the competitions had not really changed much. There was still tons of people who wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm.
There just wasn't any events, because running an event is a pain in the ass, So it's like, we didn't want to do it. It was just like, it's tiring. So, yeah. Then I was like, well, so I have a small event near Seattle that's all shag. So just kind of getting things going, just small stuff, like kind of grow it back up. So I think it's going to survive. People want it, you just have to keep pushing, like this event, Yeah. I feel like this year we're kind of, it's more like full force, it's, yeah.
But you know what's really funny is just the influence and the inspiration I mean, I get messages randomly from like Korea, and then they're like, "Hey, what's this hot rhythm holiday?" And then there's breaking down moves like from an event that you created. You know what I mean? And so it's hilarious now. But the Koreans, like I mean, they're all so move based. Like they reflect everything.
They're super precise.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe that's
it could be.
yeah. No. They're truthfully. I mean, everywhere. That's why they call festivals. I don't know if people from Korea, from China. They are a very tiny group.
which is a lot like us when we started. You know, this small little group of obsessed, dancers.
Yep. Question.
I'm from China. I'm just for
Yeah. What part of China? Oh, cool.
came to the Czech Republic.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome.
The only person who's open quite in English.
It's amazing.
Good.
Shanghai is the only city who has a regular
Nice.
teach one taster in other provinces. And I think like the people or dancers in general, but especially the non-fans who experience cities, they find it like easier coming to get started with it than they need help
Yeah. Good.
trying to get more Chinese stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Victor was very nice. Yeah, when he was talking about it was about that. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know that. It's super awesome, dude. Tell
And then I realized Barcelona's
Oh, yeah.
in general. Yeah, I realized like when I went to Germany, they were also not there. How about Shanghai?
There's some hubs. Yeah. And
We call work.
nations.
I think we're doing good. It's going to grow
I
back.
think so too.
It'll always be small though.
It may be.
That's
I
fine.
don't really mind, though. I like
It's okay. Undergrounds are fun.
I like being the underdog.
Elm.
Yeah. Cool.
It's all about rules.
Rumors in LA?
Rumors in LA.
I'm just putting that out there to get you guys all like riled up. Yeah. I mean, LA and Orange County are such an important hub for collegiate shag. I can't imagine something not happening at some point. I'm looking at Steve, of course, but dude, no pressure. 'Cause seriously, running events is the fucking, it will give you an aneurysm.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
A whole year of work for a weekend.
Yeah.
I love making money.
Exactly. Like, why the fuck do we do this? We just threw the world's biggest party for our friends. Didn't make anyone,
And like all your friends are like, can I get it for free? Like rental the
Right, exactly.
rental my ass off. Just
I'm
pay
not
fucking
happy.
$50 and come.
I got third. I'm not happy.
Yeah, but LA is the land of the cars, and recently dancing in Europe and being able to travel, it's quite nice, bit of a blessing. But visiting LA just recently, a little down south, not necessarily LA Hollywood, but a little country called Orange County, where Sarah dances a lot. It was pretty refreshing because it's not like when a band plays and the music's hot, you just dance everything. You know what I mean? You mix it up, and it's not just strictly babo, or if it's a slow song, it's not like slow bound. It's like a combination of like music interpretation, and seeing different styles is yeah.
It's not a thing.
What are you going to do to replace the jokes?
Picture, that's a
There's
stuff.
not like the first time I went to USA, it was because of Steve said that I got to go to a place that it was called the Great Real American Bar.
Joe.
Where they were super amazing hot dancers dancing could be called very fast. And then switched to like, well, nobody was dancing yet. I was already in dancing for 1 year. You're very new. I keep thought, again, I want to give you a couple of you. And we was chit-chatting then. They were late, but people were dancing very fast. But the first time I come in dancing is off. And then this person came, and I asked her, please, can we dance on Shag? Yes. Okay, so we went to the dance room, and we began to do swing Shag. Automatically, everyone shifted to Shag. Everyone was dancing Shag. It's like for 2 or 3 hours, they were dancing mini club or whatever. And then out of the blue, boom, everyone was dancing Shag. Like, what the fuck is going? And this place, freaking amazing, very good food. They have an advice, I think.
Well, it's not open anymore.
Yeah, there's live music. Did the club shut down, or was it just the swing dance night?
No, just the whole
whole club?
never reopened after COVID. So yeah, it was live music 7 nights a week.
You began to do that night. It wasn't because from you, I think that they began to offer this kind of.
I started teaching there like in 2004 when I first moved to LA. They had their first swing night, and the Mark Tortorici, who was throwing it. I was the only swing dancer who showed up because it was a country bar beforehand, so it was a bunch of country people there. And so when I showed up and I was dancing with all these country chicks, he asked me if I would start teaching a lesson there. And so I taught there every week for like 7 or 8 years. But yeah, it's no more. But now this is in the Valley in Los Angeles where I live. Joe's is no more. Hopefully it'll come back. I would love to own it if the owner would sell it, hopefully. But now we have, in the Valley where I live, we have the Mayflower Club, the Moose Lodge, Idle Hour, and Ireland's. So there's like 4 spots kind of taking the place of that one spot, but it's not the same as it was, but it's still really good. I mean, we have dancing all the time.
So Steve is buying Joe's. I would that is quite a start dancing happening yet. That would be amazing. That'd be my dream.
So this was the outfit that you didn't want to school in. That.
Yeah, if you remember Joe's, like in LA, dive bars were always like the cool, like hidden gems. And it's funny because Joe's would be blocked by Taco Bell, and then the drive-thru would be right there. So you can't even really tell, like, there's a venue. Yeah,
right next to Taco Bell. Yeah, it was like the mecca or the main spot for swing in LA from probably, it didn't get really popular probably to like 2007.
Mm-hmm.
But from 2007 through, till the pandemic hit, it was the main spot for swing dancing in LA. It's every fucking night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Mayflower is a good replacement. Good job, Steve.
Yeah, I'm at the Mayflower now. It's huge. It's a lot bigger place, but it's not the same. It's good though.
It's good. I'm good. It's coming back, man. It's coming back. I'm confident it's
And sources. These.
Chester? Yeah, so Marcus and Barble made they made a bunch of DVD series, right? And they're pretty old now. I think they made them around 2000, 2001, 2002.
Or before that.
But maybe so. But at the end, there was interviews with old timers. And the Balboa one had all these interviews, Roy Dameron and I can't remember all the names. You know the names.
Like Ray Hirsch and who else for Balboa?
Yeah, if it was Balboa, it was like Hal Takier was Hal.
Yeah.
And Arn. Yeah. There's just a bunch. It was really inspiring to see that stuff, to see the like original dancers talking about Balboa.
Yeah.
And then they had the Shag one, and it was like Lance and Chester sitting at a table, kind of like us, just talking about Shag. But there weren't a bunch of interviews with old timers like that. So that was. He talked a little bit about. It's weird because he kind of talked. It was indirect at times, like, oh yeah, sometimes band leaders would dance Shag, and then he'd name off a couple, but he didn't get like real deep into it. So we still happen though. So I think Jaron was going to interview him about Shag specifically, but it just hasn't happened yet. So, which would be good. Yeah. But anyway, that was part of what I was explaining, like why I went out and interviewed a bunch of people, tried to find old timers that did the dance and stuff. And yeah. Well, they learned partly from Betty Wood, like Steven was talking about, a lot from her, but also from Lance.
She was hilarious.
Who was she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny.
I didn't know her. I knew Gene Foreman, which was another person in that crew. Yeah. They went to the Big Apple nightclub, which used to be a church in the Carolinas, and watched the black dancers doing Big Apple, like the original Big Apple, not Frankie Manning's Big Apple. That's different. And they would take the stuff that they would see and they'd go and like reconstruct it. And then of course, because they're white kids and they got more ability and privilege to do things, they went on tour, like teaching this dance, right? So Gene and Betty Wood and a bunch of other people were part of that crew. So, yeah. And they all did Shag too. Seemed like all the Big Apple dancers did Shag as well. So, and another dance called the Little Apple, and then Peeling the Peach and all this kind of stuff that nobody does anymore. But yeah. How do we get on this? Yeah, I did. Yeah, right. Chest story. No, it's good. It's good. We need to talk to Chester about that stuff.
Do you guys figure that the dance evolves in a way that is very hard, maybe numbers with the future, we go on further?
I guess kind of. I don't think. I mean, if we didn't have film clips, and we didn't have any history at all, then yeah, it might end up more like West Coast, where it's like, who knows where West Coast is going to go? It's just like, yeah. They don't even dance to live music. They just, everything they have is DJing. Yeah. Get your sparkle bras and dance pants and, yeah. Who knows?
Preservation is important, but there's a difference between preservation and recreation too. Working in the Hollywood business, like choreographing films and music videos and stuff like that. I mean, you try to capture that spirit as much as you can.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
So when the audience from outside the genre sees it, then they get an idea of influence.
Yeah.
Somebody will look up on YouTube and try to reference Shag, and then they'll get like all different kinds of strange stuff.
Yeah. And I think the spirit of it will stay intact. I don't think we got to worry about that. That's good. It's just that you got to add new stuff to it. If you don't do that, then it just dies. It's like a Civil War reenactment. Everybody dresses up in their little uniforms and they go out and pretend to be in war or whatever. Yeah. But there's nothing else to it. That kind of stuff. It's just a history recreation. But with us, this is a living dance. We're adding new stuff to it as we go along, adding our own sort of spin on the dance. Each of us has got our own styles, and each region's got their own little regional style and stuff. I mean, just it's the way it should be.
Style.
Yeah.
Style.
Period.
Really, styles are things that have gotten added and might part.
To the dance? He's sitting right here. And Steve's added all kinds of stuff to it, Yeah. I don't know, you come up with new moves, like stuff, you see the Shag stuff and then you're like, oh, and you kind of twist things just a little bit.
Weird.
Add like breaks, like different kinds of elbows.
I was trying to think, what do I like? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like seeing like variations of my shit. Like, whoa, something I didn't think of. That's weird. How come I didn't think of that? That's pretty cool. I'm always surprised when I see something that I haven't already done, because I feel like you're all just doing everything I've already done. But then now I see you guys got your own shit, and that always surprises me when I see something I haven't done. I'm like, what? How the fuck? I thought I would have thought of that.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Thinking about what I like when I watch people do Shag now. I'm impressed when I see something I haven't done.
Right on.
The level of reality these days, no.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Source.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way more available than it was ever.
Because, I mean,
My experience.
yeah, those kids were doing this like, the 30s and 40s, like a 20-year span. So we're at that,
They most were just
maybe
dancing
more
with
like
their partner.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a social dance where you dance with everybody like Lindy Hop was.
Depends on where you were. In LA, you're right. It wasn't like that.
It was like you just danced Shag with your partner and that was it.
Right. On the East Coast, they switched partners. It was more social. Yeah. But, yeah. Where are we going with this?
I forgot.
What's in?
Oh, yeah, but as far as like, so the modern swing, like the Shag in the 90s versus now, yeah.
Right. It's 90s or even the 30s. If you think about, if you say like Shag had like a 10-year span where there was a lot of people in the country doing it, I mean, we're way beyond that now. People have been doing Shag a lot longer than that. Now, I mean, really concentrated good Shag, we've probably only been doing it about 10 years.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be long before we pass that up. I remember being at a Lindy Fest and Don Hampton was there. and 23 Skidoo got up and did like a Lindy Hop routine, and we were all like, what the fuck? That was crazy. It was just really good. And Don Hampton said, like, you guys have gone beyond us now. You know what I mean? Like, it's the dance has evolved to a point to where shit is just so like, and I mean, there's still stuff to be learned from the history, of course, you know, and you still got to hold on to that spirit, but it's reached a new level, you know, and I feel like Shag is starting to hit that, you know, we're starting to get into that zone to where we're good enough at our dance now and our craft, and we understand it well enough that it's really starting to take on some new heights. Yeah.
Well,
The name was,
you said Sylvan, you did a performance done.
yeah, there was a
23 Skidoo.
23 Skidoo was a crew out of Denver,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, they were really good aerials and all kinds of crazy stuff. I have a memory of it. I haven't seen them actually. I haven't seen that clip in a while.
What's that kid? Delilah and Kenny, and then Daniel Newsom.
And
Yeah.
I'm in fifth and Skidoos.
Tali or Tinny was
Yeah.
in there. Yeah, they were really, really good. Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure there's a routine now, or like a group now that's even better than that. So, yeah. But I just remember Don Hampton saying that, and I was like, "What?"
No, it's only
Well, it's, you know,
thinking.
I'm getting old, Steve.
Thinking.
We lit the up, but the game was kind of different, you know.
Raw. Yeah.
Make sure like the technique, the feeling maybe that we have now today and then back into it.
I think we might talk rougher now.
Yeah.
I don't know, just watching the old clips. I mean, when we first started,
In a good way.
the only flip really was the Arthur Murray clip. So there was like hardly any moves that we had access to.
At the time, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't know any fucking moves, right?
Right. He did.
And now we've seen more clips.
Dug up a whole lot of stuff. Yeah.
And there's a few more moves. But they all look like very gently, you know, it's all just like, and shit, right? Or whatever, right? I think now our style of Shag is way more aggressive than the past, the original.
Yeah. It's
From what I can tell, it seems like we're way more aggressive.
new stuff.
I blend it though, but I like it aggressive.
Yeah, it's to the point where I think it's more like comp and show level rather than social.
Yeah.
But you can comp and show in a social.
Comp and show.
I don't know what that means. Competitions and performances. Yeah. Okay.
Feeling behind.
Yeah. What was your question again? What's your question? Yeah. Yeah.
The resources are now again like more available. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. You know what I mean? So you can find all different kinds of vocabulary. I mean, back when I started Lindy hopping, there was a Catalina Island, and I saw the Rhythm Hot Shots. They did an amazing performance, and I was like blown away. But then trying to social dance, they were so choreographed back then. Like the new generation now, Harlem Hot Shots, even past that. Like Frida came from like a boogie woogie background, and lead and following completely different because of the vocabulary and the availability of moves and what resources of camps. It's easier now to learn stuff.
Yeah. Just take your phone out and you can video yourself. See what you look like, you know, make it even better. And they didn't have that luxury way back.
I always dove into different subcultures, and in Sweden, you had Harang and amazing. I mean, Harang was like the mecca of like swing camps. But then there were other festivals too, offset, like Justaboo. And one of the crossovers was this dancer named David Dommel. He was part of the original
There's no David Down.
Rhythm Hot Shots. But he crossed over. David Dommel.
Oh yeah, hip hop sport.
Yeah. But hip hop has such a huger audience that they were able to get sponsors, and then like Nike and just the boo. That's also done in France, but it crossed over. David Dommel. If you look up David Dommel, you see his crossover. He
was a huge influence on the swing scene and in like the early or late 90s, early 2000s.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the swing scene went so experimental. I mean, you had like Groove Lindy, where it was like they wanted to mix like hip hop Lindy, and then later on in the era too, you had Swap, where it's swing and hip hop, where Ryan Francois was a part of that mix. But yeah, it was all this experimental. And then even in San Francisco, you had like Loose Change, a company that would mix.
Dude,
Swango Tango. Tango and swing.
dude, I'm never. This is crazy. I'm glad you're here. Shit. I've never even heard of this.
But long story short, the level of the dance, back to Korea, like the Korean kids would just watch, and their personality is different because they're always like happy but with battling with ciphers, when you're battling, like you want to take that person out, so it's kind of like rough and rugged, and then because the Koreans are so focused on like the moves and the dancing, like the ability was so high that they would try to get, when they would battle, they try to get punked because they're smiling and everything, but their move would just destroy.
Oh, well, I guess it's time for a drink. Uh-oh. Yeah. I think we're at the limit now. 9:01. It's Steve's limit. If ever. Yeah.
The van is supposed to start so, right?
Hey, this is empty.
There's no way that is just sit.
Can
It's pretty good though. I liked it.
So another tie into Shag, St. Louis Shag, right? Marcus and Barbell came out to L.A. and then they had kind of a manager, and his name was John Hudson, right? And back then when we first saw, because you see St. Louis Shag a lot at the U.S. Open, at West Coast events, it was kind of cool, little syncopated move and a lot of little variations. But this guy made it nerdy for us because he had a falling out with Marcus and Barbell, and he claimed the dance as his own. So he called what was originally John Hudson. So if you find it anywhere, it's called the Hudson Hop, which is really a St. Louis Shag. But he just claimed it.
Some kind of motion with the Cinderella before he passed away when you record.
Sorry, go ahead. Any last questions? We are at 9:00 now, so yeah. What?